Wednesday, October 30th, market analysis Stan Ehrlich. Good morning, 10:04 California time. We start out with stock market indexes. We go to futures, and sometimes I can include stuff like cycles and chart formations and signals and crypto and forex, options, whatever. E-mini. I am still looking for a break. I think prices are going to come down. It's not going to be the October lows. Maybe it'll be the November lows. I'm now nicknaming it because it's late. But for the last 31 years, only 3 times has it done this. Now it's done it a fourth time, not provided a particularly good, if not fantastic, buying opportunity during the month of October. That didn't happen. At least I don't think it's going to. So is it still going to roll over into November? Yes, we look like that is quite possible, but it's not starting. I really can't come to that conclusion at this point unless we start closing below 57.96, the low made last week. And at that point, then I'm expecting follow through to 57.20-ish and very possibly 55.90 and even down to the lows of September and possibly the lows of August. I can tell you that typically November and December are fairly strong months. So if we're going to have a low in November, it should be fairly early so the rest of the month can be strong. But you can never make the market do what you want it to do. You always have to move with it. Period. Next, we're looking at the 1-minute chart today, and we can see it hit a little bit of resistance on a rally a while ago and is dropping off to a minor support area that doesn't look like it's particularly working very well. Washed right through it this morning as if it wasn't there at all. So take that with a grain of salt. Delete. Excuse me. Now, Spider, basically same comments. We don't have any gaps to close anymore. Bingo, close that. Eliminate that. Don't got it. And this one as well. Little reference point. Okay, delete. Good. So, having a higher high today than the last couple of days. That's all, 2 days. Mostly it's going sideways for the last approximate 2-3 weeks. You could say since it got overbought in the middle of the month, about 2 weeks worth. Next chart, Spider, 1 minute. It's going to show the same thing, of course, in just much greater detail. QQQ has made a new high with a new high close. That close yesterday wasn't above the previous high, but that was only a couple of days earlier, but it's having trouble here. Slightly lower on the day. A doji inside day indecision. Does have to come down a little bit more to finish closing a gap, which yesterday it did a fairly good job of doing it mostly, but not completely. So yesterday was an outside trading range with a higher close and an uptrend. If it had also been overbought, I would talk about my little bass-backwards reversal, which I have no great name for except for bass-backwards. And so was it one or not? So far it's down just a little bit, but I need to start closing below yesterday's lows without making a new high. And that hasn't happened yet. Next, QQQ, 1 minute, kind of a pennant formation this morning, sideways. Next, NASDAQ, daily data, another new high for the recent trend, and that's ever since the beginning of July. And we did get a sell signal on the exact high day, and it still is the high day on July 11th, but we're chewing away at these resistance level on the QQQ and or the NASDAQ and coming up and up slowly but surely, and it's not quite overbought. So there appears to be room for more strength on this particular symbol. But I'm looking for everything to reverse all of a sudden and start to come down for a week or two. Next, NASDAQ 1 minute, sort of a pennant for a while here this morning after new highs and then coming down after last night. So nothing I can scream bloody murder about one way or the other, but most things are looking stronger in general than I expected, and most are exhibiting some toppy activity, but that's not following through to the downside. Next, YM, Dow Jones. Yeah, maybe a better toppy formation. I really need to close below 42.10, 42, sorry, 100. Yeah, 101, 102, something like that, in order to get a lot more bearish. But I want the other ones to follow suit with some kind of a signal or breakdown. Dow's not going to do it by itself, probably. 1 minute chart, YM. Next, Russell. A little chart all by its own. It doesn't correlate very well with the other stock market indexes. We went up to major historical resistance in overbought conditions a week or two ago and stopped just like you would have guessed. Came down, had a sell signal, did not work. Popped up a little bit for the last 2.5 days. Touched resistance again and is still a little higher on the day. All I can say is if it has a bearish engulfing, it'll probably push itself lower. It won't be an ER sell signal though. Detail on the Russell after a pretty darn good sharp rally off of something that happened around 6:20 this morning, 6:20, 6:30 area. And next, okay, now bonds. Bonds have done everything that I wanted, plus a little bit more. A month ago, I started plotted and didn't move. This yellow line, which of course the market was at a low point at that moment and a little oversold, after which it had a rally, and I'm still expecting it to come down to about 118 and about the middle of October, which it totally did, and a bit more. Now what? Well, I'm still October and I'm still getting overbought, except today is the first time that it's managed not to be oversold. I meant oversold on this break. So it could be starting something on the upside. Can't tell yet. All I know is it got very oversold, got to where I wanted, plus a little bit more, when I wanted, plus a tiny bit late. We'll see what happens. Now, if this is a low of consequence, it has some major long-term, very, very, very bullish ramifications because it should be, could be, looks like it is the right time and price for the last shoulder on a double shoulder, October 22, first shoulder low, inside shoulder, March of 23, head of the formation, ER, buy signal, green, right smack on the bottom of the market, October 23 of 23. And now we're getting into this year, April 24, inside shoulder, and there's the last shoulder. Is it forming now? It's the right time. It's the right price level, approximately. It's oversold. It's in a variety of support areas. Sure as heck could be. And if that's true, the neckline on the double shoulder, head and shoulder bottom, is the cyan line I just put little handles on, the little yellow or white circles. This line right here. If we go up and break that, then the breakout of the head and shoulder will occur, and we're looking at 150.5 minimum long-term upside objective, and we are trading at 118.02. That's a huge move. Very, very bullish. We just have to turn around somewhere around these prices, maybe a hair lower, and somewhere around this time frame, maybe within the next week or 2 or 3 at the most. You can't go lower too much, and you can't go to the right too much. It has to bottom out somewhere in this ballpark, and we are there now. Good enough. Next comment for 10-year notes. Almost everything I said is the same. We've got the October 22 shoulder low, inside shoulder March of 23, the October low of last year with a buy signal smack dab on the bottom of the market, of course. The inside shoulder is a little sloppy, but it's there. And that was approximately April, May, June of this year. And there's the neckline. And here is the upside objective on the double shoulder pattern for the notes, 126.18 or more. Very bullish. Just got to start turning around here. And we're not doing badly. Up a little this morning. First day for a while. Let's see if this can hold and start to make some upside progress. Okay, crude. Trying to reach support. Not oversold yet. Has a gap to close. Talked about it 2 days ago when it gapped down. Today's rally high is closing a little bit of the gap, not much. And it's between the low on October 25th and the high Monday, October 28th. That's where the gap is, those two prices. So I'm obviously expecting a move up to about 69.90 and then down again. No particular reason for a rally here, but it could a little bit, and down again. Expecting these lows to be broken. There's a broad downward slanting channel that's been very active for a little over a year now, looking fairly good. If that's going to test the bottom, it's going to get down to a little under 2, or 2 is good enough. Maybe a week or two from now. Next, natural gas. Don't have anything to say except we did buy the natural gas 2 days ago on Monday. Started to do okay. Yesterday, also okay. Not great. It's down a little bit this morning and just barely a small loss on that trade. Our stop is down here. I might consider raising that stop a little bit under today's low if we come back up again. Right now, we have an outside down day, not what I wanted. An outside up day would be nice. Let's see what happens. We're along at about these prices, a tiny bit higher. Next, gold. Outside down day didn't work. Bearish engulfing, ER sell signal, lost some money. 4-day hold for both the ER1 overnight and the ER3 overnight. New high closed yesterday when we got out, and above where we got out, thank goodness. More upside follow through, overbought conditions, prime target for a reversal. I have to wait. I think it can go higher. Don't know how much, but I don't jump until I see the market doing what I expect it to do and I get a signal. Most importantly, get a signal. Otherwise, it's opinion. Next, silver. Tried to make a minor new high today from yesterday. Couldn't do it. We do not have an outside day because there's no new high today than yesterday. But we're down fairly good, bouncing off a little support. I'm going to wait on silver again. Sorry. Next, platinum has got a brand new today, big bearish engulfing ER sell signal. I am turning bearish, obviously. Looking for lower levels now for platinum, and I doubt that it's going to do it by itself. So I think silver and gold are going to slide with it shortly. I'm looking for a move down to probably 970-ish, and next could be 935 down to about 911, 12. Fairly good place for a sell signal. Very large, close to low and last almost at the moment. Took out the range of took out the lows the last 2 previous days, not just one. I like it. Nothing wrong with this. I'm bearish, looking for a move down as of today. Next, copper still can't decide what to do. It's been in this support and resistance area and stuck there for 2 weeks plus, waiting for a breakout. Next, beans, oil, meal, corn, wheat, cattle, hogs. So beans at the moment do have a bullish reversal, add a little bit of support for the last couple of weeks. Interesting. I now think it's going to rally some because of the outside up day, bullish engulfing. Typically, that would be back up to a little resistance. So I'm going to call it, 1020, and maybe one or two levels higher. I think at the very most, you're going to get 1080, maybe 1102. Minor double bottom if this starts to work its way higher from today's lows. Not a very big formation, top of which is almost up to 1020, bottom of which is, let's call it 75, 25, 30, 45. So you add 45 to 20, you get 65, 1065-ish. Right in that ball. Okay, right around these previous highs. Next, bean oil. Rocking a hard spot, opened on its highs, not doing, I'm sorry, that's the current tick, sorry. Opened near unchanged, a little higher, couldn't and didn't make a lower low. Ran up pretty darn good. Let's see what happens if it tests this level of 45 and a few ticks. That's pretty good resistance. For the last couple of months, it's been working its way higher a little, but the longer term is obviously lower. Now, meal didn't make a lower low than the year or two earlier, and that was in May of 23, 2 years earlier. So this is going to look like a 2-year double bottom if it really, really, really starts to get bullish, which I don't see a lot of evidence yet that it's going to do so. If you're trying to make a head and shoulder bottom out of this, you've got really two shoulders on the left over here. The neckline would be across that point right there and that point right about there. And it got broken a little bit the other day, but didn't stay above it. That's not good. You only got one shoulder over here. So there's a couple things wrong with it. I like the fact that it's at historical 2-year lows, but that's about it. Let's see what happens. Soybean meal. Trend line held so far. We're sitting basically right on it. Second day, 300 and a few ticks at support and oversold. So this is a good combination for it to turn back up. Bull trend line, oversold conditions, and a support or close to its support. Excuse me. So watch carefully here. This could turn up easily. Corn. Again, trying to make a case for a long-term bull, but I can't quite yet. This is neutral. Could make a little bit lower lows. Could challenge the lowest low. Trend on an intermediate long-term basis, still very much lower. Just don't see it happening yet. Bottom. Nope, not yet. Wheat, kind of the same damn thing. Bull signals at bottoms, they're good. They worked. They worked for some move, but it's a bear trend and it didn't change into a bull market, which would have been nice and still could. But I just can't come up with anything that looks particularly real bullish. So I'm neutral to bearish on corn and cattle. Bearish engulfing yesterday. I think I mentioned it yesterday because it did happen by the time I recorded my YouTube. And we dropped off like a rock this morning at one point, hit a little bit of support, bounced right out of it very nicely at the moment, but still lower on the day by a chunk. I think today's low will not hold, support will not hold, and we're probably going to come down to 182 and maybe 180 flat. Yeah, 180, a little under 181. And I can't rule out a test of these lows down at 174. We'll see how low she can go. Next, we got the hogs, had a sell signal a couple of days ago, and nope, that did not work. Got stopped out 2 days ago as it started to make new highs, and lucky we're out. Don't procrastinate, it kills you. Don't jump the gun. That usually is not a good idea. And follow your disciplines, your trading system, your trading style, formula, whatever you got. So we're out and didn't get hurt on the follow-through rally yesterday. Wow, an up gap and another strong day today. Wish it was long, but didn't get any signals to that effect, unfortunately. Okay, what's the mini doing again? At the moment, we're still up a little bit, and it's a very small amount. Looks like we dribbled down a little bit more. But again, I got to get a lot more weakness than this. I'm just not getting the downside follow through that I was expecting, looking for in the stock indexes for that October low, which now is defunct this year. You guys have a great day and profitable trading to you.